Right now, we're seeing an emphasis on embodied carbon. We know as the years have gone by and we have not really focused on or succeeded in reducing greenhouse gas emissions, the AEC industry has really latched on to embodied carbon as probably the most important thing for us to address over the next 10 years. There's a very interesting initiative that's been started, which is called the SE 2050 Commitment. This has been started by a group called the Carbon Leadership Forum and has been picked up by the Structural Engineering Institute's Sustainability Committee, which I co-chair. The idea is that firms would sign on to commit to tracking and reporting the CO2 or embodied carbon associated with their projects and eventually agree to reduce those emissions. And as driven by the science of climate change, the goal is to reduce the net CO2 emissions on buildings down to zero by 2050. So the next step is that we will develop a program that structural firms can sign on to. The requirements will likely be to create a sustainability plan addressing how each company will work to get to net zero. It'll include a reporting commitment. The firm would agree to track the embodied carbon of its projects and report that in an anonymous way to a database. Once we have the baseline, we can start setting targets and reducing those emissions. That's the idea behind the SE 2050 program we're working to implement.